Hey guys, I want to make a video about what happened in my live. It was completely chaotic. I apologize for that. But it is kind of like an apology video. I shouldn't have addressed Genesis's name on here, but I think this conversation was important to be had, right? Because it is a pragmatic view, and I didn't like how people were treating him, right? Right? Because he agrees that abortion is impermissible normatively. But this is the pragmatics. So if you actually see that live, which I'm going to post on YouTube, you can see what his stance was. And this is a conversation I think that's very important because it's very commonly held view that people think abortion is morally impermissible, but it still should be legal. And we don't really have these conversations very often, especially in this very area, because this debate space is very normative ethics and meta ethics. We don't really talk about the pragmatics often. I think this is very, very important and very, very key. So I'm going to have another prompt based on the pragmatics, but obviously it's not going to have his name on it because this is a very common stance. This is not a stance that he originated. Many people hold this view. I obviously disagree. I think it should be illegal. Pragmatically, I do think this would bring more people because a lot of people, myself included, I mean, that's pretty obvious. I'm not a philosopher. Obviously abortion is inherently a philosophical concept, but I know very little about philosophy. So this specific conversation is based on the pragmatics, not on meta ethics, and not on the normative ethics, right? And especially for people who agree that it is morally impermissible. It's just how do we apply that to the legal system? How do we fix that? So I think that's the conversation that needs to be had. Which is a conversation that's not commonly had. So I wasn't interested, if you saw that video, I wasn't interested in asking him the questions about his religion because that wasn't relevant to the prompt. The prompt was whether it should be illegal, which it should, obviously. I think it should. And that's what we need to discuss. I think he has some common contentions. I think these points needed to be addressed. It's obviously not an impossible conversation, obviously. It's not an impossible issue. I'm obviously very, very concerned and passionate about this problem. I think the pragmatics do need to be talked about. And again, it's not a conversation that's held very often. So I think that's what should be held. And I'm going to have a prompt based on that. So if you're welcome to join, by all means. He also did mention that if you disagreed with his view, you can formally debate Genesis himself. It'll actually be proper and structured. So if you want to run the ones with him, by all means, let me know. I'll set it up for you guys. So yes,